What is coming to completion in your life? And what has come to the surface to be looked at in the process? Welcome to Tree Gong Healing. Keira Lani here. And I am so excited to offer you some very simple practices today to help alchemize heavy emotions. So if you haven't tuned in to my show before and you're just meeting me, I have been on this journey of personal expansion my entire life. I started my self-guided meditation and yoga practice at the tender age of 5, and I have been literally deepening, widening, and learning and growing ever since. And you might think, oh, well, great for her. She started meditating at 5. Well, I have to tell you, as much as self-awareness is my passion in life, I would not say it immediately makes life easier. It does, however, make life more joyful, more expansive, and more purposeful, I would say. And so I wanted to share a little bit about the inspiration for today's practice while I'm waiting for all of you to join me live. So this eclipse, oh my gosh, how has anybody else, before I go into my experience, I want to know if anyone else out there has felt this eclipse season extra strong. I have a tendency to, I guess I have a tendency to say, oh, none of that really affects me too much. I got this. I've got my practice. I do my thing. And it's true. My practice really helps me to ride the waves with equanimity and grace. And yet these waves have been some big ones this last week. I'm telling you what, I have gone all the way from I'm so excited to completely start something new in my life, and it's changing my life, to, oh my goodness, I am grieving the person that I used to be. I thought this was a really big realization, actually, that I came to that just this morning. Yesterday morning, I was in a melancholy mood. I really didn't want to do anything. I really had to force myself to get up and go and take care of the responsibilities and commitments that I had on my plate for yesterday. And of course, once I did, I felt better. But in the morning yesterday, I was really struggling. And I was, at first, I was just felt like I was grieving an old relationship. And then I started telling myself, what's wrong with you? That was 5 years ago. And I realized that I wasn't so much grieving the relationship that ended 5 years ago as I was grieving who I was. And it's not that I want to go back to being that person. Who I am now is so much more authentically me and connected to what is most important and true for me in this life. And yet there is a version of me in my memory, in my past, who was so optimistic and so ready for things that now I just am not even looking for in my life. Hello, beautiful Kelly. Nice to see you today. And so sometimes I wonder if anyone else has had that experience, whether it's something that's up for you now or in the past, a time when you were grieving a former version of yourself, a realization that you never would actually be that version of yourself again in this lifetime. And it doesn't mean, like I said, the version of me now is, if anything, better than the version of me that I'm grieving from 7 years ago or so. And yet to take the time to be with myself in recognition of that, of this fact of life, that we don't get to go back and relive those experiences or go into the alternate version. Often when we look back, what we really want is an alternate version of our former reality. But to really allow whatever those emotions are to come up and be present with them is such a powerful practice. And so to come back into my purpose for today, if you were with me or watched the replay on Sunday, we did a purification ritual right at the moment that the moon was eclipsing in the sign of Scorpio. And we talked about the alchemy of bringing fire underwater. So I actually just, these are the pieces from that ritual. You're welcome to go back and do the ritual. It's out there on my channels, and you're welcome to go back and do that. We will be in, just FYI, heads up, we will be in this eclipse energy for at least a couple weeks. Eclipses don't come in a moment, they come in a season. And so it's not too late to go back and do the purification ritual. So here in this jar of water is my shaman stone. And this is a candle that is attuned to the solar plexus chakra. So it's like double fire, solar plexus chakra candle flame. And in Taoist philosophy and also in Vedic philosophy, we talk a lot about the elements and bringing fire underwater. I think everyone has put fire underwater before. What happens when you put fire underwater? It actually transforms the state of that water. So if this water were ice before I put it over the flame, it would begin to melt into water. And if we keep the water, like if I actually set the water on top of the candle flame, I probably won't do that just because I have broken glass before by getting too enthusiastic with hot and cold. But we could actually boil the water and turn it into steam, evaporating. And when we do this alchemy within the elements of our own body, it really, truly is a powerful, magical practice. And so we're going to do some of that practice today. This is going to be less ritual and more practice here. So if you want more ritual, go back to the previous video. If you want some practice, you are in the right place. And so I'm actually also personally integrating the intentions that I made during that ritual by relighting the candle, reigniting the flame, and bringing the water and the stone back. And I'm actually going to now, as I prepare for our practice, remove the stone from the water and bless myself. So even if you weren't part of that ritual, and there's no need to recreate the ritual unless you feel like going back and doing it later. But I'd love to invite you, as we prepare for our practice, to grab some water and just touch it and bless yourself. Water is the universal solvent, the purifier, the healer, the nourisher. So touching the third eye, the throat, the heart, solar plexus, navel, touch the pubic bone, and then come back and touch the crown. And just pause for a moment, connecting to the crown, and touch in with the breath. Resting your hands in your lap, connect with the breath. We're going to do some powerful breath practice to bring to awaken the inner fire so that we can then channel that fire element into our water element, create the steam of transmutation, and really alchemize any heavy emotions, anything that has come up. Eclipse season is a time for completion. When we're completing a cycle, we're also beginning a new cycle. And to really fully begin that new cycle, we need to really fully complete the old cycle. So often in life, we're starting something new and we haven't finished the last thing. Does anyone else resonate with that? Because I feel like I might do that a little extra much, the starting something new without finishing the last new thing that I started. And so I really wanted to take a little extra integration time around this eclipse energy so that we can really allow what needs to be completed to be completed so that we can start this fresh new cycle with fresh, abundant, clear energy. Thank you, Kimberly, and welcome. Hello, hello. And yes, I'm glad to hear that someone is resonating with what I'm sharing here today. So let's just first drop in with the breath, and then we're going to do some really basic movements to get the energy moving, and then we'll do a breath practice to awaken the fire, and then another breath practice to cycle that through the water element, and then we'll wrap it up with some grounding integration. So place your feet firmly onto the earth, connect with the breath, and just focus the awareness on the breath for a few breaths. Open to receive the breath as if something greater were breathing into you. And with each exhale, feel a grounding connection to the earth as if a smile like warm oil were melting down the front, the back, the sides, the center of your body. And just notice the quality of the breath here. Notice where the breath is naturally guided to as you open to receive the deeper breath. Hello, Ibrahim. Welcome, welcome. And now to begin to open our channels, we're going to do a little movement, like I said. So take your hands up to your shoulders with the fingertips forward and the thumbs behind. And then as you take a deep breath, feel the breath is lifting you up from your armpits. Almost like you're a child and your grown-up caretaker is lifting you up to be held. So your torso is rising up, being held up by invisible hands under your armpits, and your legs are heavy. So keep your lower body firmly anchored as you rise up through the upper body, feeling the length in the side bodies. If you're on a chair with a back, make sure you get really long so your arms go over the back of the chair, and we're going to begin to twist Inhaling to center, exhale, initiate the twist from the belly moving towards the spine. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Follow your own body's needs. It may be that this is a very small, subtle twist for you. It may be that it is a bigger twist. Maybe you want to go slow, or maybe you want to speed it up a little bit. Keep that grounding in the feet and pelvis, raising up in the ribs and shoulders as you twist to open the sides of the body. If you're going faster, then make it be inhale to one side, exhale to the other. If you're going slower, you'll inhale to the center and exhale to each side. Use the breath to find a deeper release. Good. 3 more breaths. You can also not connect the breath to the movement. This is called a washing machine twist. So it's really clearing out the energy. And let's brush off any tension in the shoulders from that. Let's do some clearing breaths. Good. And now we're going to do one more little, a couple of more little stretchy things in the hips and legs, because we carry a lot of emotions in the hips and the legs. So take one ankle to cross over the other knee. Rest it on the thigh, not on the knee joint itself. Press this bent knee up into your hand. Press your crown up into an invisible hand above your head, and then pull your belly towards your spine and bow forward. Maybe just a little bit, or maybe all the way to where you're resting on top of your shin, looking at the floor. Breathe 3 deep breaths here, breathing into where you feel this stretch most. Sigh it out. Allowing any emotions that may be stuck in your hips or legs to just soften, rise to the surface, to be cleared. One more breath. Come all the way back up to center. And now take this knee across. So this is your classic cross-legged position. Take your hand to the top of this thigh and press the leg away from you as you draw your belly back towards you, opening this lower abdomen, side body. Feel this opening the lower back and pelvis. Inhale to center, take that leg down, and we'll take it to the other side. Cross the ankle over the knee like a big figure 4. Press that knee up into your hand. Deep breath rising up through the crown, and then exhale the belly towards the spine as you bow forward towards that shin. And we'll take 3 slow, deep breaths here. Allowing any emotions that may be stuck in your hips to be brought to the surface, to be cleared with the breath. One more deep inhale, rising back to center. Cross your knee over the other knee. Press that thigh away from you as you draw your belly back. 3 breaths here. This is like a half twist. Really tune into what's happening in your low back and pelvis. Inhale back to center. Bring the feet down. And now that we've got a little energy moving, let's tune in for a moment before we do the breath practice. I want to take just a moment more to tune into any sticky or heavy emotions that may be being carried in the chest, in the lungs, in the heart. So just taking some gentle massaging to your chest And then gentle tapping. Start at the center on the sternum. Not only is this breaking up any stagnant emotions, this is also thymus gland. I also like to use the heel of my hand to simultaneously tap. So now I'm getting the whole cupped palm. You can kind of hear what's happening in my voice here. Take some deep breaths. Now taking a loose fist across the chest, breaking up any stagnation on the side of the chest and the other side. I like to do my tapping rather than the emotional freedom technique where we do a lot of talking. I like to just tune into the sensations. Let's do some gentle tapping on the sides of the neck, the back of the neck, and the throat. Notice how lymphatic regions, the places where your body is physically clearing toxins, is also where we often constrict around emotions. So tapping is nourishing, nurturing, healing, and clearing on the physical and emotional levels. And let's just gently draw that energy down the front of the body. All right, now I feel open enough to really benefit from the breathing practice. So take your legs a little bit wider than your hips and feel how that opens your channels in your legs. And then take your hands to your belly. And we're going to do a pretty common breath practice today called Kapalabhati Breath or Bellows breath. Some people call it breath of fire, but it's actually the breath of fire that I know is a little different. We're going to do Kapalabhati breath today, followed by a sublimation breath, followed by a reverse abdominal breath. So this is a little bit of a complex breath practice today, but just follow along. We'll do it in stages. So we're going to start with the Kapalabhati breath, the bellows breath. This is a breath pattern that is focused on the exhale. Some people call this exhale breath because we're focusing on the exhale. And this is a cleansing, a purification breath because we're focusing on that exhale. We're clearing out the excess carbon dioxide in our system. And there is a natural rebound inhale after each short, focused exhale. Now, anytime, if you've done breath practice with me before, you know, anytime that we do any advanced, any active breathing practice, we always default to slow, deep belly breath, also known as natural breath, yoga breath, qigong breath. So we'll start there actually, and then we'll go into the Kapalabhati breath, and we'll complete the Kapalabhati breath on an exhale. So when you do your last forceful exhale, there's a pause without breath, where we take a moment to rest in that out breath. Rest in emptiness before being filled. Now, this first breath pattern is both clearing, cleansing, and also activating the fire element. And so after that, we'll do some slow, deep breath to really drop into the water element. And then we'll do a cycling of the fire and the water to really create that steam, transmutation, alchemization of emotions. So as we begin with the hands on the belly, dropping into slow, deep belly breath, breathe into the lowest part of your abdomen first. Expand the sides and the back of the torso. Feel the rib cage opening to the front, back, and sides, rolling open the collarbones. And with each exhale, relax the body fully as the belly floats back towards the spine. And as you rest here in awareness of the breath, tune in to your emotional body. Your emotional body may sometimes feel like trying to communicate with a very young child who doesn't have a lot of words. So just allow yourself to witness what is alive for you in this moment. Whatever comes up to the surface to be cleared, that's what is asking for your focus today. So don't overthink it. Just let it be whatever it is. Maybe it's something you've been working on constantly and you're ready to be done. Maybe it's something that you didn't even know that you hadn't fully completed and you're just realizing now that you need to do this last bit of work to be fully clear and ready for the next phase of your life here. And now we'll begin the Kapalabhati breath. This is a breath, like I said, focused on the exhale. It is a series of short puffs of exhale driven from a contraction in the abdomen with short rebound inhales in between. We'll do something between 20 to 40 of these short breaths, and we'll end on an exhale. So begin when you're ready on a deep, slow inhale. Hold the exhale for a moment. Relax the body. Relax, relax, relax. And when you feel that you need to breathe, allow that breath to rush into your body, filling you up to the crown of your head. Take in a little more and hold the inhale. Swallow saliva, relax the body, and then allow the breath to exhale slowly and softly. Exhale so slow and soft that the air is not disturbed around you. And when you reach the end of your exhale, rest in natural breath, integrating the fire awakening within you. And tune in to the water element. Let's actually take a moment to connect physically to the water element in the kidneys by rubbing your hands together. And while you're doing this, gather saliva in your mouth. Saliva is the golden elixir of immortality. It is where you begin to digest food. It is where you begin to digest words, thoughts, ideas. Once you have warmth between your hands, send it to the kidneys and swallow saliva as if sending nourishment to the water element in your kidneys. And then gently massage that energy around the hips to the front of the belly a few times. And now we'll drop into awareness of the breath one more time, bringing the awareness all the way down into the core of the pelvis. Imagine that you are sending the fire from your heart down into your reproductive organs. And then as you inhale, draw that fiery energy up the spine, over the crown of the head to the third eye, touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and exhale back down into the belly. Take a few more breaths like this, bringing energy up the spine, over the head, and down the front, feeling the energy at the core of your belly growing stronger and brighter with each breath. So this is the natural cycle of the microcosmic orbit going up the fire channels of the back and down the water channels of the front. Now we're going to reverse it. So we're going to pull the water up the front of the body, over the crown of the head, and down the back, cooling the fire and also alchemizing the water. Tune into how this feels different than the first version. And now just release the effort to move the energy and notice which direction your energy wants to continue moving. Up the back, down the front, or up the front and down the back. Generally, the microcosmic orbit will move up the back channel and down the front. Now just take a moment to integrate this practice, tuning in once more to what has come to the surface to be completed, and ask your inner knowing to show you what is needed in your daily life to fully integrate this experience, to fully complete this cycle, and to fully open to the next. Let me know how that practice was for you. I hope you enjoyed it. It's wonderful to be here with you in these powerful times, bringing through real tools to use in this physical life to bring through the experience that your soul came here to have in the physical body. So thank you so much for joining me, whether you're here with me live or on the replay. You deserve all the love in the world. I hope you'll continue to come back for more videos. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends. And if you want to see more of what I have going on, you can always check in with practiceselflove.com, where you can get a free gift, sign up for my email list, join the Healing Warriors community, and check out whatever new things I have going on. All right, my friends, amazing day to you all, wherever you are. It is an honor to be of service to you. Namaste.